From this point forward, the word cheese will be bleeped because Michael finds it offensive.
Hello and welcome back to the Fine Dining Podcast, the search for the most mediocre restaurant in America. I'm your host, Michael Ornelas. I'm back again with stand-up comedian and host of another late show tonight, Mike Perkins. Mike,
hey,
how's it going?
I'm doing great, man. Welcome back. We're back, baby.
For those of you listening for the first time, this is the show where I am looking for the most mediocre restaurant, the perfect 5.00 dining experience out of 10, based on its atmosphere,
Based on its service,
and based on its food. Why am I doing this? Because when people say something's good or bad, I'm like, yeah, based on what? You got to define the switchover point from good to bad or bad to good to know what good and bad even are. And I'm the best guy for this job as a very mediocre guy. And even though I'm joined by someone who isn't mediocre, this week you are. I'm dragging you down to my level. We're just a couple of midfellas.
a couple midfellas over here.
Yeah.
You're going to like this guy. He's a midfella, you know?
You and I, just directed by Scorsese. Yeah, go to this Buca di Beppo. He would disown us if he saw us at a Buca di Beppo.
We would get whacked. For sure.
Yeah. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be mediocre.
The midlife. How deliciously spared. From a dish to a plate.
What is that?
A wish to a aid.
To me, being mediocre was as good as being president of the International Association of Professional Restaurant Photographers. Even before I wandered into the Buca di Beppo for an after-school job, I knew I wanted to be a part of them. It was there that I knew that I belonged. To me, it meant being nobody in a neighborhood that was full of other nobodies. They weren't like anybody else. I mean, they did whatever they wanted as long as it was legal and they were home at a reasonable hour. If they were double parked, they'd apologize and move it as fast as they could. They were law-abiding citizens, just cogs in a machine. And that's all I ever wanted for myself.
Fine dining party of two.
Our table is ready. We've been talking too much. We'll see you after the theme song.
Your table is ready, follow me. Have you tried our chicken breast? Serving pancakes and ribs, I recommend the spaghetti. We're here to satisfy, not to impress. Your table is ready, complimentary butter and bread. These walls have road signs, knick-knack, cowboy hat, good luck cat, autographed guitar, some crap from your city. Behold the tchotchke of mediocrity. Fine dining, just fine dining, fine dining. Two letters on the sign aren't shining. Neon flickering, irregular timing. Identify the perfect five out of 10. Fine dining. Fine dining.
Hey, Fine Dining fans. Before I dive further into the episode, I want to tell you about another podcast that seems like it's in the realm of what I'm doing here. It's called Candy is Dandy. It's the only podcast devoted entirely to reviewing candy. You'll learn about the history of certain candy bars and stuff. They've done an episode on Snickers, which, did you know, was named after a horse? They discovered that there's a connection between Butterfinger and the atomic bomb. I listened to their Twix episode, and I learned that Twix actually stands for Twin Sticks, which is freaking cool to me because I love etymology and learning why things are called what they're called. And they've also done an episode where they tasted way too many peach rings with Comedy Bang Bang's Carl Tart, who's a really funny improviser that I've seen around the Los Angeles area before. If you love candy, you're going to love this show. Or if you're even curious about it, it's the new year, you've given up sweets and you just want to vicariously hear about candy. They'll taste and review a candy bar on air so you don't have to. Find Candy is Dandy, the Candy Review Podcast, anywhere podcasts are found.
Atmosphere.
There's one other thing I noticed outside that grabbed my attention and really made me laugh. They had a health grade rating that just said pass. It wasn't an A. It was a pass. And I'm just like, Are they the student that was like, I just want to take this class pass-fail because I know I'm not going to ace it? Did they go in and like appeal to the health inspector? Like, yo, can we take this course pass-fail?
It's like, well, we got a D, but it's still passing, right?
It's still passing.
Can we put that on there?
D's get degrees, baby. We pass a fat Donald Trump-looking gold Caesar bust.
I noticed it's the big fat Caesar statue.
If I got a close-up of its face and head, it looks so Trumpian. It just does.
It's like the portions are going to be huge.
They'll look so big next to my hands.
They'll look so big. Doesn't even matter.
Is that your Trump?
That's my Trump. I do a little something like that. I do something like this. You know,
every comedian's got a Trump.
I gotta have a Trump.
Do not have one.
Trump's favorite place is probably Buca di Beppo.
It's McDonald's, and I feel like that's on record.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So we get taken back to our table, and they could not have cared to show us the full restaurant. They were like, this front area is good enough for you. Because there are corridors all around, and we get seated in the booth that's just directly across the entranceway.
Yeah.
So we get seated. There's a bunch of...
We were also like at the, like there was like a big bar area, which is like if you're going to a Buca di Beppo just to
drink,
just to go drink and have a couple of drinks. Like,
oof.
You want to go down to the Buca?
Just a big old oof.
You want to go down to Joe's Hole and get some brewskis?
That would genuinely be sad. Be like, oh, I know this great cocktail place. Yeah? Where? Buca.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm going to meet up with some other friends.
Yeah. This would be the last time we're hanging out.
Yeah. Like, why is everyone canceling plans on me? I just want to hang out at this bar I really like. And so there's photos, like, there were nuns in bumper cars. There were a few pictures of people in the process of passing out or being passed out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's post-Buca, post-meal or whatever. There's just a flattering headshot of Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, that was like right above your head, too. That was a giant... That was what we also said at the same time, like, this is the Applebee's of Italian food. Because, like, there's so much... I mean, everything on the wall, there's not a space... Like, every space is covered with a frame of something.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything. Like, nothing. There's no empty
wasted
space.
real estate.
Yep, no wasted real estate.
Yeah.
And it's all different sizes. Like, you had, like, a 24-inch Joe DiMaggio above you, but then we had, like, the big nuns and...
Which, by the way, the gap in his teeth on a poster that big is frightening. You turn around and you're just like, ah!
Yeah.
It's very startling.
But, hey, he dated Marilyn Monroe. He don't need braces, you know? He's fine.
I mean, I don't even know. When did braces start?
He's hitting home runs. It don't matter. When did braces start? I don't know. I mean, he obviously didn't have them. So it wasn't the 40s and 50s, I guess.
I'm going to look this up because that seems like an interesting fact to me. The top Google search for when did braces is, when did braces come out? Like, technically the question, 1819.
1819?
Yeah. I mean, I am certain that it wasn't in its modern form.
Oh my God, 1819.
1919. Anyways, what else is there to say about the decor here other than it's insultingly, it is insultingly Italian. I literally saw someone write online that they were like, I feel like I'm in a cross between a mediocre Italian place and a minstrel show. Like, just with the amount of laid on Italianness.
Like a minstrel show? Like, what's a minstrel show? Minstrel or menstrual?
Minstrel.
What's minstrel?
Like old-timey traveling plays which popularized blackface, which is what they're referencing.
That's called minstrel?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought you meant menstrual.
No. The minstrel show, also called minstrelsy, was an American form of theater developed in the early 19th century. The shows were performed by mostly white actors wearing blackface makeup for the purpose of comically portraying racial stereotypes of African Americans.
Wow. Well, thank God after Phil Roberts, he took all those pictures down.
That is not an official thing. That's a joke that you're making, and I just want to cover myself legally.
Just saying.
By not implying that Buca was once donning pictures of blackface.
It was minstrel, okay? What we did talk about in the Eat Deets was what I seen
What I seen
after I went to the bathroom, I was looking around the rooms and stuff like you were, and there was a Mona Lisa with her boobs out.
That's not how you phrased it to me.
I mean, her tits were out, I guess.
Yeah.
The tits were out. It was like a girl's
You
going...
just flat out were like, hey, there's a Mona Lisa with her tits out. And it's just like, could you have phrased that any other way? Don't try and tone it down now that you're having to be accountable for your words and there's a microphone. You're like, her breasts.
Her beautiful breasts were out.
Her bosom was showing.
Her bosom was showing. Hey, that was dinner talk, all right? Her tits are out. Hey, you see table 2, her tits are out.
Jesus.
But it was like a girl's gone wild like Mona Lisa. You know what I mean? Which I guess you don't have to go all the way to the Louvre to masturbate to her. You can just go to Buca di Beppo and
I don't think you can masturbate in a Buca di Beppo.
I mean, I don't think anybody would kick you out.
I think they would.
I don't know. Nobody cared.
No, wait, did you do it? What do you mean nobody cared?
I didn't jerk off. No, I didn't do it.
Did you have a witness?
Wait, cut this.
No one cared.
I saved the picture.
Mike, you fit a description you fit a police sketch description. And it looks like the date was a couple nights ago when we were at Buca. Is there anything you want to tell me?
You did see me rip a frame off the wall and walk out with it.
Try and put it in your pocket. I was like, Mike, that's way too big.
So are these portions.
Yeah. You know what? I'm actually going to go on record and say not only were the portions way too big, they were way too much.
This is
Oh, my God.
These portions were, we'll get into it more in food, but it was stupid. The bowls were obscenely large to a point that they almost added to the atmosphere themselves of just like, oh, they're serving us in a pig trough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, fuck your dignity.
It's funny because they give you the smallest plates also for you to share with, but it's like it was just me and you. So it was like, we're not using these plates.
Eat out the bowl.
Yeah.
Eat out the trough, little piggy.
Yeah.
It was way too much. There's like the Michelangelo painting of God reaching out and touching
I didn't see that
Adam,
one.
But it says pull my finger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's
right above the entrance to the kitchen.
That's that Phil Roberts tongue-in-cheek kind of shit.
Phil Roberts, the owner of
Pull
Buca
my
di Beppo.
finger. I didn't notice that one.
Making a laughing stock of all things Italian, which is the best way to describe this whole experience. Funny. It was just kind of funny.
What do you mean it's funny?
It's funny. It's good decor, good humor. It's a funny place.
What do you mean? Just Italians in general? Like the way they talk? What?
Just, it's just funny. The way they decorate the walls and everything.
Funny how? I mean, what's funny about it?
Just
what?
Just, it's funny.
Let me understand this because maybe it's me. I'm a little fucked up maybe, but it's funny how? Funny like pull my finger at him? It amuses you? It's here to fucking amuse you? What do you mean it's funny? Funny how? How is it funny?
The way it portrays Italians?
How the fuck is it funny? What the fuck is so funny about Buca di Beppo? Tell me what's funny.
Get the fuck out of here, Mikey.
This motherfucker. I almost had him. You mediocre prick. I'll tell you what's funny. Mona Lisa with her tits out. Look at that.
Oh, I guess to add to the obscenity and tits out, there was also a photo that was directly in my eye line the entire meal of a woman who was topless just holding giant melons. Like just a watermelon sliced in half, just selectively covering up her tits.
Her tits.
As we will so politely put it. I'm just trying to match your energy. You're the tits guy here.
I don't say tits all the time.
I was trying to be respectful, but I'm matching.
I like to go on record that I don't just say, hey, look at those tits over there. I don't say that.
We've established otherwise.
I was just shocked that Mona Lisa had her tits out.
You just did it.
All right.
That's the word you chose.
That's fucking great.
Now, for another restaurant in my dining history in the journey of this podcast, I was snubbed by a photo taker. Only a few places have had photo takers going around where they're like, hey, do you want to commemorate this occasion with a photo? We even got the birthday special. He never came by us. And do you know how that makes a guy feel?
Even during the birthday thing, he didn't take a picture of
you or anything.
He didn't
stop by. He gave us no attention. He walked in the room, glanced like side eye, and just made a decision in his head. They don't want to commemorate this.
Yeah.
Like hell I don't. I'm out with my friend Mike Perkins. It's a week after my birthday, and we're taking advantage by getting that birthday dessert for free.
Yeah.
We're getting the people singing to us, and we'll go into that later.
Oh, yeah. We got the words, baby.
But no thought in his mind that we might want this forever commemorated. And it hurts because, I mean, I wasn't like dressed to the nines. You weren't dressed to the nines, but I wasn't like a slob where you pass by and they're like, oh, that guy would not like the way he would look in a photo. So I'm going to do him a mercy.
Yeah. You were so upset about it, too.
I got worked up.
You always, I feel like you get worked up on like, this guy don't want to take my fucking picture.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
But also, he's a photographer in
a Buca di Beppo. Yeah, but like, I got a photographer at Outback. I got a photographer at Rainforest Cafe. There was a photographer at the Universal City Johnny Rockets. Like, if a Johnny Rockets is going to have a photo taker, all bets are off. Anywhere can do it.
Yeah, but like you guys talked about in the episode, go back and listen to it on the Fine Dining podcast.
Thank you.
You're at it's like an amusement park.
Right. It's the
like,
Universal Studios.
They're trying to get money and trying to like be like, hey, took your picture, family, on vacation.
Yeah, but it's like, I just had a sweaty day riding rides.
I guess.
Like, why would I want my tank top and sunburn to be commemorated?
But he can Photoshop that out with AI for an extra $30.
Can you imagine these places are like, oh, we're gonna airbrush the Uggos. we got an Uggo airbrushing service.
Hey, I know you took my picture after the baked rigatoni, but can you put abs on me?
That would actually be so funny. Just like an in-service. Oh, that's so good. The bathrooms, a lot of butts, a lot of kid butts, kids peeing. I'm not talking about kids were in the bathroom peeing. I'm saying photos of kids peeing from behind.
Yeah.
This is weird. I don't like describe it. Look, they made the choice.
Well, yeah,
I'm just describing it.
It's all pictures of like, I mean, it's all like little kids just peeing on like walls,
on
like
the
Big Daddy
street
style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's all them, like it's everyone peeing. There was adults doing it too, but it's just pictures of people peeing in the bathroom.
In a Buca di Beppo, everywhere's the bathroom.
Which I gotta tell you, I didn't pee I peed right on the wall because I'm
wherever.
like, I wanted to
just
match the
wherever.
picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I went in the sink. There was a guy next to me washing his hands there, and I was like, "You're doing it wrong." Yeah, he was like, "Can I just reach for the soap?" I was like, "At your own risk." This is a heavy stream. What am I? I try to learn that often, and I can't figure it out.
Atmosphere 2, I was upset that you can tell that it was an authentic Italian restaurant because it took them about an hour to even play one Frank Sinatra song.
Yeah.
And I was upset about that.
Hey,
when you walk in, you want Sinatra right away. You want that on repeat. You want like, just that kind of, swing kind of.
But at least they
authentic.
played it.
They did play it, but they, I don't know what they were playing beforehand, but it wasn't anything Italian. They played like Three Doors Down.
You
at one
don't
point.
know that. You're speculating right now.
I didn't hear. I wasn't like, oh shit, Sinatra until like an hour since we sat down.
Yeah.
So the atmosphere is like, put more Italian music on there. Or just make it instrumental. So it's
make it all Sinatra.
If you're going to do that, like...
I would genuinely lose my mind if I just had to listen to those three notes over and over and over and over and over and over.
Hit your eye. I want that stuff.
It's Di Beppo.
It's a Joe's hole. It's a Joe's hole.
Have we talked about that in this episode? I think it's just on Eat Deets.
It's just on Eat Deets.
Buca di Beppo translates to hole of Giuseppe. And Giuseppe is the Italian name of Joseph. So it's Joe's hole. That's what it's supposed to be. But Buca di Beppo is hole of Giuseppe.
Yeah, back in 93, Phil was like, come on down to Joe's hole. But they're like, no, we should do it in
We
Italian.
should class it up. We should make people have to go on Google Translate to really learn where they're going. And that won't even be out for another 20 years.
But they'll do it.
Now, another thing donning the walls, Miss Buca. They had like profiles of all these different women who I guess was like their like Miss January, Miss February, like they weren't nude. It wasn't like a Playboy thing, but like I guess they held contests or something to be Miss Buca.
See, at first when I walked out of the bathroom, there was a bunch of them, and I was like, "Oh, that's Miss Buca." I thought that was the owner.
She was a master of disguise because she had like 14 different plaques and she looked different in all of them.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, Miss Buca," and that's also Miss Buca, but that's also I just didn't, I was confused. But yeah, I guess if you want to be a supermodel, you could also be Miss Buca.
You could be Miss Buca.
Yeah,
and I don't know what credibility that lends you, but it's not much.
I mean, these Instagram models don't hold anything up against Miss Buca.
Yeah,
Also, with Atmosphere, what I saw when we were walking out, there was a really young couple, which seemed like they were on their first date. They looked like they were like 18, 19, and they were in the biggest like U booth, like their own VIP booth. But they looked like they were like just kids that like their
just
parents
like
weren't
super
there.
far away because the booth is...
Yeah, the booth is so big, but they were like close together watching like, I guess like YouTube or something on their phone.
On one phone or
on just one phone.
Okay.
Like up against the giant bowl.
So they're at least bonding. They're at least bonding.
Yeah. But I just thought it was so funny because if it was like your first date that you're going on, this kid's young, so he's like, I can't take her to Dantana's like an authentic Italian,
Yeah, it's an odd choice for a first date. And it makes me ask a question, Mike. It makes me wonder, what's going on over there?
What's going on over there? What's going on over there? Should I worry? Should I care? What is going on over there?
Mike, what is going on over there?
I think what's going on over there is, I don't know what's going on over there. I really don't, because this
I asked you like you're an authority.
Yeah, but this guy, this kid, like he's taking, like, look, if you're on a first date, you're hoping that you're going to get laid. You know what I mean? Tits are going to be out,
Tits
baby.
out, baby. Tits out at Buca di Beppo.
Hopefully. But if you have a meal like we had, where like you have to eat that much food, even if sex does happen.
No, I know what this is. I know what this is, Mike. It's a guy who wants a challenge. He's like, look, I'm in the prime of my life. I can screw with the best of them. I want a marathon version of sex on a first date. I'm going to Buca di Beppo and I'm going to carbo load myself. I'm going to carb load my date and we're going to have the breadiest sex you've ever seen.
Breadiest sex.
So much burping, so much apologizing.
Dude, even the girl, like if she was going to eat, like, girls on the first date usually don't eat that much. Unless we're like, in our 30s like us. But...
right. Oh, girls in their 30s
girls
can
in their
eat.
30s love eating, baby. I'll tell you that. But when we were young, like girls would be like, I'll just have like a little salad. It's fine. Look, God bless him. If that guy got laid that night, or if that was their first date and he got laid, that was the challenge. He's a hero.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
He was the decathlon runner who's like a gold medalist, and he's like, I've already conquered one thing. Can I perform after a family-sized Buca meal?
Yeah.
I think we figured it out, Mike. I think that is, in fact, what's going on over there. Now, as we mentioned in Eat Deets, they do have a room dedicated to the Pope. And actually, all their rooms are kind of dedicated to different things. But the Pope room is kind of a special kind of demented. It literally has a bust of the Pope inside of like a museum glass case, like the sort of thing that in a heist movie you would have to like laser cut to get out this bust of the Pope. You know what I'm talking about?
But it was very lifelike looking. Like it looked very detailed and everything. Like
it looked like a Madame Tussauds, like
it was like a wax museum of the Pope head.
Yeah,
But look, if my family brought me there when I was a kid and I had to sit directly eyes with the Pope, it'd be trauma.
You'd be guilt ridden.
Riddled with guilt.
Guilt riddled.
Yeah,
I can speak.
The guilt riddler.
The rejected Batman villain.
Yeah, the guilt riddler.
A guy who just goes in there to Batman and he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, but I'd feel so bad about it. Yeah,
I'd give you a riddle, but I don't want it to be too hard. I don't want you to think about it.
It seems like an inconvenience, and you've got other stuff to do. You've got other crime to stop. You know what? I'll let you get on your way. The guilt riddler. Yeah, just an entire round table and just a lot of art of like Vatican City, the Pope, the Vatican itself. It's a lot. It's heavy. It's hefty to go in there. But when you're walking away, my favorite part of the atmosphere, I guess it's of a spaghetti eating contest, but there was no formal acknowledgement of it on the thing or below it, no little plaque or anything. But it's just like 5 women stuffing their face with pasta, but just given the nature of the shape of pasta, it more looks like they're vomiting pasta. They're not. I want to be clear about that, but it's definitely like they've got like Swamp Thing vibes, just like bleh, just like hanging out of their mouths.
5 of the most beautiful Miss Bucas that you could even ask for.
Classy as all hell. Just, yeah. And then the last piece of decor that I want to bring up, and this will kind of tie us into service, the placemat in front of us had the lyrics to the birthday song, and they kind of nudge everyone in the restaurant to sing along with it when there's a birthday, and they kind of make it that you've got no excuse. So we're going to go into service, and we'll tell you all about that. Before we go into service, we do have to give a thumb rating to atmosphere. It's offensively Italian, but I kind of liked it. 1 thumb up.
I'm going to give it 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down.
So you could just say no thumbs, you know?
Oh, okay.
You could just give it a nub if you want.
Yeah, but I want to give it like, okay, it was funny. There were tits out for Mona Lisa and, you know, thumb up for that. But
you want to let them see that thumbs down in addition to the thumbs up.
But I want to see them thumbs down because it is stereotypical Italian all over the place.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's yeah.
But I liked it. It was a good joke.
Yeah.
It was an okay joke.
Yeah.
All right.
Service.
Mike, you're pulling it up on your phone. Would you care to read the lyrics to the birthday song?
So the placemat right in front of you, it says, sing along to the birthday song. Meatballs, pasta, we made them fresh for you. Homemade marinara, lots of garlic too. It's your day to Buca, so we're here to say, have a happy birthday, the Buca di Beppo way. Hey!
It's so fast. I felt like they were like Eminem speed rapping this. You did it slower than they did.
They did do it quick, yeah.
You could just tell they wanted to rip this Band-Aid off. Meatballs, pasta, we made the first for you. Homemade marinara, lots of garlic too. It's just like, what are you doing? Why? Make my moment last, damn it. I'm a narcissist, okay? Give me 5 seconds more. Is that too much to ask?
You're like, make my moment last. The guy might take a photo of me finally.
I know. Notice me. Yeah, but it was very funny. There were probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 other birthdays that happened. And then we actually went out to eat a week after my birthday proper, which we didn't realize. I mean, I guess I didn't realize to even tell them because I did a lot during my birthday week. So in my mind, I'm like, well, it's passed. And then I realized, like, it's only a week. That's probably a valid enough time frame to get whatever their birthday special is. And we got a free dessert out of it.
A huge dessert.
An obscene dessert.
Yeah.
We got we'll talk about it in food, but I'll leave it an air of mystery. But it is pornographically large.
Yeah.
It is upsetting. It's like when you bring a dog home and your partner wasn't expecting you to bring a pet home. They're like, can you take care of this? That's what the dessert felt like. It was an added responsibility that neither of us were ready for.
Yeah.
Now, for our actual server, I thought she was actually very attentive, nice. It took a little while from the time we sat down to that first contact, but after that, I didn't really have any issues with the service.
I mean, shout out Michelle. Michelle was great.
Shout out Michelle. And I only allow name dropping on this podcast if it's good service. If I'm going to say anything bad about you, I will leave you in anonymity so that you don't lose your job, no matter how much I hate the service you gave me. But
No,
Michelle,
she was awesome.
name dropper.
Yeah.
She was great.
She was really nice. And the food did get there really quick after she, I mean, that's the thing. I used to be a waiter too.
Yeah.
So it was like when you don't know a table just got sat in your section. She probably didn't know her table got sat. So they're probably like, hey, you have table 10. And she's like, oh, shit. But then that whole time, like, she was checking on us. She was being super nice. When you walked away real quick, I whispered to her real quick. I was like, hey, it's his birthday. She's like, I got you.
Which was also
like,
funny.
We're going to start piling it in right now.
Because it was this elaborate thing where, like, I got up. I was like, hey, man, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I don't know if you knew this, but it was my birthday recently. Let's see what we can get out of it. Let's fucking scam this Buca di Beppo.
just like the
it's
owner
not
back
a
in
scam.
2002, huh?
Yeah. 23 grand on a strip club. Go listen to Eat Deets if that means nothing to you right now.
Eat Deets, baby. Go back and listen. But no, she was really nice and she checked on us all the time. I wrote the joke down. The only reason she was checking on us is because you have to make sure that we're alive from the food coma that we had, just to be like, is he still alive? My table's still alive.
I love how much you committed to that joke in that you just read it off a phone instead of just actually saying it trying to get it over at all. But yeah, no, I mean, she tolerated my like cheeseless babble, the fact like any food allergies. I'm like, I have a food dislike. And I didn't notice judgment on her face, so a good poker face, because everyone judges me for not liking cheese.
Yeah. You shocked me. I was like, we're at an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
No cheese?
And everything is to share.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, so either you're going to have to share something that didn't have this ingredient that I guess you like, or we both had to just go way too crazy and order just a family's worth of food each.
Yeah.
And of course we went with option B. Of course we did. And Michelle was there for it. But speaking of these portion sizes, she pointed out the table behind us like, that's the small.
Yeah.
And we both turned around and in sync went, Jesus.
Yeah.
Just at the same time. That's the small. So we both had the same reaction, but we went through with it. This is one of those places that does a corner warning because they have so many like labyrinthian corridors and stuff that whenever someone's coming around a corner, they just yell, corner!
When I worked as a waiter, I never did that. I didn't give a shit.
You just raw dogged it?
I was just raw dogging those corners.
Raw dogging those corners?
Tips out on those corners, I'll tell you.
Any accidents?
I mean, sometimes I think I would say it sometimes, but everyone else would say it. So if I heard that, I would move. You know what I mean? So like, when I'm
putting a lot of trust, you're the one guy getting by on the backs of giants.
I didn't run a lot of food, which my managers hated me for.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about that: I worked on Friday and Saturday nights, and they had a food runner.
So you don't need to.
And I had to tip out the food runner.
Yeah.
So when they're like, Mike, run food, I'm like, well, what am I tipping out the food runner for? You're paying him, and I'm also giving him more money of my money. Why am I going to run this food?
So why don't we talk about it? Where were you a server?
I was a server at Applebee's.
Ooh, the most mediocre restaurant in America so far. Sitting at a 5.02 Applebee's.
5 point. Look at that. There it is, baby.
Right atop the tchotchke of mediocrity.
Look at that. Right on the top and the bottom of America.
How was it?
I was the worst job I ever had in my life.
Specifics
was just
names, addresses.
I mean, I wish I knew his address so I
Social
could just
security
shit on
numbers.
his fucking yard.
Jeez,
it was
You're so Jersey.
The only job I ever had where I didn't get along with my bosses.
Really,
and they didn't like me.
To be fair, I think you're a very difficult person to not get along with.
Thank you.
Like, I don't know you super well, but like, I have never viewed you as a person who, if someone got in a fight with you, I would immediately assume they did something.
They are in the wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're just a very friendly guy.
Thank you.
And
I'm a hardworking guy, and I do my job the best I can do.
Yeah.
It's just when I worked there when I was 27, 28, and the managers, like, it's a lot of young people that work there. I mean, the hosts are like, some of them are like 16 and stuff, and like 18. That some of the girls are like 22 that are serving and stuff. But like, I didn't get along with the manager because he would treat me like I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at one point,
just spank you on your little boy butt.
Yeah, my little boy buddies, like the little boy butts are in the bathroom. I'm like, what is this, a Buca di Beppo? But no, he would yell at me like forgetting a ranch or like not running food or like whatever. And he would just like,
oh, so you forgot a ranch.
Like, yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay.
My job is on the line.
Sorry, I guess I interpreted you as someone who was competent. All right, you're in the wrong.
But no, he would just yell at me and then like cut me on my shifts and stuff. And like, I remember one time I was like, dude, I used to run a fucking casino. Like, who are you fucking yelling at?
You used to run a casino?
I was a pit boss at a casino.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? I'm like managing money and all this
stuff.
The
way that I view you has like...
And you're yelling at me?
It hasn't done a 180, but it's done a 90.
But like, this guy's yelling at me like, I'm like, dude, I'm not a little kid. You know what I mean? Like, you're probably like 6 years older than me.
Right.
You know, like, I'm not, like, this isn't my first job, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing this because I need fucking money. You know what I mean?
You know, the reason people work.
The reason, yeah.
Yeah.
But I hated that job, dude. It was the worst.
Yeah.
And the food-wise of going to the Applebee's episode, It is mediocre. I mean, I was putting soups, like bags of soup in shit. Like it was just
Bag soup.
bag soup, bag everything.
I
and
love
just,
the undertones of burnt plastic are
Yeah, it was just like
exquisite.
Yeah, that's what adds to the French onion.
Yeah.
It's just like, it was the worst job I ever had.
So when you're comparing to Buca di Beppo, did you feel that this place gave better service than you were used to seeing around you at Applebee's?
This was, I don't know what happened in the back. I mean, I used to get in trouble in the back of the house.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, when you're up front serving, I'm like a nice guy. I'm cracking jokes and doing this stuff and whatever
in back,
else.
you're like, I need that steak on
the back,
table
they're
6.
yelling at me because I'm not running food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I fucking paying the food runner for?
Yeah.
You know?
So if you had to give a thumb rating to the service here, I'm going to go 1 thumb up.
I'm going to go 2 thumbs up for
You're
the
gonna
service.
go 2 thumbs
Yeah,
up.
I really liked Michelle. Michelle was great.
Yeah.
Name drop again. The service was great. The food
See,
did get there.
I will say this. The service score is the whole team. And just for that photo snub, I can't give the 2 thumbs up. I can't do it. He's an employee there and he snubbed me hard.
Munchkin Menu Musings.
My name is Chip and I'm 11 years old and I'll be reviewing the Buca di Beppo kids menu. It's just pretty basic with all the stuff like word cross, tic-tac-toe. I mean, it's like little kids menu, so I don't really expect much. I like the characters because they have a very nice art style, which is really appealing to kids, so I find that as a plus. So first up, we got Nerd Face Meatball. We got Italian Woman. And then we got Skateboard Tomato Guy. The little Italian man that looked like Mario. Basically, it's a pizza man holding a crayon like the rest of them are doing, except for the Nerd Meatball. And originally I was gonna make him have bags, like the bags on your eyes. But it looks like a mustache, so I said screw it. So I made a mustache and I gave him a nose and it's drooling with wet boogers. The games are alright, I guess. 1 out of 70. This has been Chip for Munchkin Menu Musings. Thank you.
Food. Yum, yummy.
So the thing they start you off with, like a lot of Italian places, like a lot of restaurants, you get that bread. You get table bread. They put out oil, and I'm literally asking if they have bread as she's pouring it. And I just felt like that was a dumb question. She's not just leaving a plate of oil and walking away.
You never know.
But the bread wasn't there yet. So, it's not an invalid question. It's just a stupid one. But this is pretty good bread, at least while it was warm. I didn't have it cold, but the warm bread I did like.
It was soft. It was okay.
It was very doughy.
It wasn't, it was
and
very doughy.
I like doughy.
See, I don't like doughy.
What do you like?
I want to kind of have a little bit of crisp on the outside of it and kind of have it not too much dough, but soft.
And we kind of got that with the garlic bread. Those were much crispier.
See, I thought the garlic bread wasn't that was too crispy.
Okay. Mike can't be pleased here, okay?
I mean,
but if we're giving a score to this starter bread, I'm going 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I thought it was solidly good.
I'll do the same. I do 7.5. I did like it. It was soft. It was nice. With the oil and the vinegar, it was good.
I will say it didn't feel like high-end bread, but I have a very unrefined palate. So who am I to be like, this bread didn't taste like it was baked fresh this morning.
Yeah.
I can't talk about food in those terms. I just go, me no like, and that's about what you get with me.
You did say that to her too.
I tasted the bread and I went, me like, and she was like, okay, sir. And then the photo guy went turned the corner, and then she just gave a hand motion nix that. And that's why he never came by. She was like, this guy is office rocker. Do not do it.
Oh, it's funny.
The garlic bread, it definitely was a little too crispy. I agree with that, but I do like softer breads. I like being able to taste the breadness of it, not the crust as much as the bread innards.
I like,
that's the taste I want.
If I want a garlic bread, I want kind of the outer side of it and kind of the top crispy.
Yeah, I want to hear a crunch when I bite in, and then from that point on, I don't want it to be difficult.
Perfect.
And here, it was tough. It was a tough bread. It wasn't a bad bread, but it was a little on the, you had to chew it.
Yeah.
It needed more butter, I thought. I don't know if they debuttered it because I said no cheese and they assumed it was a dairy allergy.
Yeah.
But I did specify that it's not an allergy. So I'm hoping that wasn't the choice they made. But yeah, it needed more butter.
Maybe that's why it wasn't as soft. The cheese wasn't on there to make it softer.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But still pretty good tasting. I'm going 7 out of 10. So not a huge drop off, but I did prefer the starter bread.
Okay. I did 6.4. 6.4 out of 10.
Wow, you're going to the 0.4s. You're not even doing like halves and quarters.
I just went there.
You're a calibrated machine.
I went full pie. I went 3.144444444.
That's not pie.
So the one thing I had for an appetizer, which I thought looked really good.
That I did not eat with you. I didn't share this with you.
It had cream cheese on it.
Yeah.
But it was prosciutto stuffed mushrooms, which I thought, I mean, right away you're like, holy shit, prosciutto's the best.
I did?
No, I'm thinking like anything prosciutto.
Oh, that was like a royal you, not like me. I was like, I would never say that.
Yeah, no, prosciutto's the best. Give me that fucking prosciutto.
Can you stop pronouncing all these things the way they're supposed to?
I'm just saying. So prosciutto, I had prosciutto stuffed mushrooms, but to be honest, like it was just all cream cheese and mushrooms. There was like maybe a little bit of pieces of prosciutto, but it wasn't like actually like I thought it was going to be like an actual piece. Yeah, they skimped on the prosciutto. So
if you had to score it,
I'd give it a 5.3.
I love your numbers. They're so and very valid, by the way. Like I'm not crapping on them. I just love that I gave up a long time ago on trying to give like to the 10th beyond just like, I'll do a 0.5. I might do a 0.8.
Yeah.
Or I'll do a 0.0. Those are the only ratings I ever give. You can go back to every dish I've ever rated. It's either a 0, 5, or 8 on the decimal.
Yeah.
But okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's get into the obscene family style one each entree that we got. And I also want to mention they serve these bowls with the intent of family style. Now, obviously, I ordered a thing for me and you ordered a thing for you, but they still serve it as though it's family style. So it came with one of those spaghetti scooper things. And
biggest spoon.
And then they have like a much smaller like Save Your Dignity plate off to the side that you're supposed to scoop the spaghetti onto and eat it off of there. But I'm like, hey, this isn't to share. I'm just going to eat this out of the ginormous pig trough bowl in front of me.
Is that why the plate actually said dignity on it? It was written in the plate. Like
it was like carved in there like bathroom graffiti.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used the plate once and then realized all I was doing was expediting the process of the food cooling off because it didn't have all the other spaghetti around it to keep it warm. So why am I doing that? No, I'm just going to eat it out of the bowl. I'm going to hold the bowl in my left hand underneath my chin, and I'm going to just shovel forkfuls of spaghetti with, as you would call it, gravy.
It's gravy, baby.
Ugh. I hate that. with meat sauce. It was they called it meat sauce. Sometimes you see bolognese. I don't know if there's a distinction between bolognese and meat sauce, but regardless, their menu said meat sauce, so that's what I got. Spaghetti with meat sauce.
Well, what makes it gravy is the meat in there. That's how you cook it, Like
Look,
if you make gravy at home, like my mom makes gravy at home.
I thought you were about to say my ma.
My mom.
It sounded like you were about to say ma.
My mom makes gravy at home.
Yeah.
But she makes the gravy, but she cooks the sausage, she cooks the meatball, she cooks sometimes chicken in there too.
Yeah.
All within that gravy, which makes it gravy.
That's your theory, but the rest of the world doesn't call it that.
Yes.
We call it meat sauce.
Yes.
Gravy is what you put on potatoes, and it's a different thing.
That's brown gravy. You get red gravy and you got brown gravy.
And then there's white gravy.
The white gravy is...
That's for like a chicken fried steak.
That's white gravy.
I see you trying to make an ejaculation joke, and I'm trying to cut you off at the pass because there actually is a white gravy.
Look, we already talked about Mona Lisa, all right?
You're all spent.
Yeah, I'm all done.
You're not the marathon runner who was on that first date who was like, oh, challenge accepted.
I don't even know what's going on over there.
Hey. Did you try my spaghetti at all? I don't think you did.
I didn't, no.
Okay, so...
But how was it? What'd you think?
So I don't need stuff to be al dente, but this was too soft for me. I thought these were overcooked noodles.
Mm-hmm.
The sauce was very average for one of these American Italian style places. I didn't hate it, but like the noodle texture, I literally wrote down soft and sad and uninspired.
Soft and sad.
So they're losing all points for texture. The taste, I mean, it tasted a little overcooked, but like I do really like a pasta. So even a low scoring pasta for me is still an above average food.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the score is not how it scores as a pasta. As a pasta, it's a low score. As a food, 5.5.
Okay. All right.
Could be worse.
Yeah. I had the baked rigatoni. So I had the sausage and the ricotta cheese. We say ricotta. It was just so much.
Who's we?
My family in East Coast. And why we say ricotta back home.
We've already established that your words are wrong.
Anyway, the ricotta, what they were saying was like, I think we talked about it in the Eat Deets also, and a lot. They just like, I mean, there was just, I mean, it's like they took an ice cream scooper of the cheese and just put it in different spots on the plate.
Just little
in the
spheres.
bowl. Yeah, it was. It was like big circle balls of like the ricotta cheese.
Yeah.
It was okay at first, but then the gravy started tasting weird to me. It just like, it was like too hard. The noodles, the rigatoni itself was just too hard.
Yours were too al dente, and mine felt overcooked. They were too soft.
I like when they're soft.
Oh.
I don't like when they're too hard.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I don't like it when they're too hard either, but
Yeah.
I
This
feel
was just
like
too
if they would have
much.
split the difference on both of our dishes, we would have both been very happy.
Yeah. But we couldn't
Happier.
split because they're both for 3.
Yeah.
I gave mine a 5.3 out of 10.
Ooh, slightly lower than me. You with your fancy decimals.
Yeah, 5.3.
But now we can get into the stupidest part of this meal, the scam dessert that we got. The colossal brownie sundae, as they call it. I mean, this was a chalice, like a plastic, almost like an arcade prize sized martini glass made of plastic. They just dumped brownies. It literally felt like they went to a Costco, bought like a mega pack of brownies, opened the plastic container over this goblet, and whatever fell in stays.
Would you say it was 8 brownies is what they had in there?
It was something like that.
Oh my
6 scoops of ice cream, half vanilla, half chocolate, and just stupid amounts of whipped cream.
The mountain.
A cherry on top, sprinkles. This was a punchline. This dessert should not be anywhere near anybody unless you want to die that night. I'm so glad that it's to share.
Yeah.
This was an $18.99 priced dessert that because my birthday was a week prior, we got for free.
Oh, yeah.
But I had to put up with rap god level singing from the service staff, or they're just like, okay.
Mom Spaghetti, you're nervous, you know.
It was Mom Spaghetti. They flat out Eminem'd this thing. And I was like, okay, that's the price I pay. And then they put it on my table, and Michelle literally goes, there you go, diabetes in a glass, and walks away.
She did say that too.
She did.
Shout out Michelle. She's the best.
I mean, she didn't say it in such a mic drop kind of way like I just did, but like in a much more like, it's diabetes in a glass.
She whispered, good luck with your heart.
Did she?
No, I can't.
Oh, man, I would go back and bump up that thumb to overcompensate for that photo snub, but she didn't say it.
That's so funny.
You really liked this. I thought it tasted store-bought in every way. It's still a brownie and ice cream, so it's gonna taste good.
I thought it was great. I mean, I thought that was my favorite thing of the entire meal.
You did say that, but that wasn't necessarily a testament to the brownie so much as an indictment of the other things.
I get You said it best.
Yeah. I went 6.5 out of 10 on this colossal brownie sundae.
I went 7.8, baby. I really liked it.
7.8 baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a baby on the end of it, too. It felt like I had a fucking baby in
We
me.
were
after eating
pregnant for sure leaving this restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that said, none of my scores were below 5, but I feel like it's still a 0 thumb kind of restaurant for food. Like, I can't give this a thumb up, even just being a quarter Italian. You being double that, where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going 1 thumb down.
You're going a thumb down.
Well, also, see, my whole overall of it was, even as it came out fresh at Buca, it tasted like it was...
You guys can't see, but he did say fresh with air quotes.
Yeah. Even though it came out fresh, it tasted like it was reheated macaroni already.
Yeah.
When you get it at the restaurant. So, like, we went home with 2 containers each.
But the best part, when you cook it at home, it's going to taste the same.
Well, it tasted reheated of reheated. So
Right.
you're like, it's
Reheated
double reheated.
squared.
Like, yeah, it was just like, and then it started tasting weird. And I was like, and just, I was just like, it was too much. So
Yeah.
I give it a
One thumb down.
one thumb down. Sorry.
All right. No,
But I've had authentic all my life. You know what I mean?
You're not offending me with your... I didn't cook you this meal. I don't care. You could have gone 2
You
thumbs
did leave
down.
for a while. I think you were looking for the photo guy to try to get him to come over, but I thought you were cooking too. I don't know.
Oh, so speaking of the kitchen, though, did you know you can sit in the kitchen?
Really?
I was reading Yelp reviews and people were talking about, yeah, I didn't like the service at the kitchen booth. It literally faces into the kitchen and it's like a gimmick spot. And they said you get bad service there because all the servers have to go by there and they don't want to feel like they're bothering you, that they overcompensate and don't attend to you.
No way.
Yeah, but they have an actual kitchen seat.
Why would you want to sit in there?
I don't know.
It's probably be so hot and
But
everything.
they give you a tour, and that's probably why we saw people running out of the kitchen at the end of the night. We saw patrons
Oh, that's true.
leaving the kitchen with like a couple of kids.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we got to put all of these factors together into a...
Final rating.
Okay, I like the atmosphere. It was foolish, but I liked it. Service, genuinely, I enjoyed it. If there wasn't a photo snub, we're looking in the upper tier
Shout out Michelle.
of servers. But the food didn't cut it. It was like,
No.
it was just on the cusp of that mediocre to good. But I do think I gave it higher scores than it deserved, and I don't know why I did that. I think it's just that they're graded on the curve of Italian food is better than
Yeah.
other food, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So while the scores are high for food, for Italian food, they're lackluster.
Exactly. When I told my girlfriend I was going to Buca with you, all she said was, "Ugh."
Why? Oh,
Ugh. I was like, what? And she's like, "Ugh, this place is horrible."
yeah.
And
But-
I'm like, yeah.
I don't think it's horrible.
I think I was hungry
It
and it got the job done.
got the job done. So put it all together into a score, Mike. Where are you going?
I got to give Buca di Beppo, Joe's Hole, if you will, a 5.90.
You've got to. You've got to give it that rating.
5.90.
Inexcusable to give it any other set of numbers. 5.90 from you.
5.90.
Look, Mike, I'm less Italian than you are. So my bullshit meter is more tolerant. The food isn't a thing that I'm recommending Buca for, but the experience of being in one, I did like it. I would call it above mediocre, not by much, but it was a good time. I had a good time at this place. Now, of course, I was going to have a good time because I was just having dinner with my friend Mike, but my score is higher as well. I'm going 6.72 at a Buca di Beppo.
Oh, okay.
So that means when we smash our scores together and wring out, juice out an average into a bowl, dip the Buca di Beppo logo into said bowl, and smack it up on the tchotchke of mediocrity, it goes up there at a 6.31.
Better than mediocre. It's better than an Applebee's.
Wow. 6.31.
Puts it very slightly above the old spaghetti factory.
Oh, you mean that heavenly place that lady loved?
Yeah, that lady.
Unreachable goals.
Unreachable standards.
Unreachable standards.
Like that lady on Yelp said. Yeah, that feels about right to me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
Buca is a slightly better old spaghetti factory.
yeah, I never been to a spaghetti factory or the ye old spaghetti factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food's not, I mean, it was the atmosphere. It was hanging out with my buddy Mike.
Yeah.
And
it was a very solid server.
It's a solid serving. The food was like, yeah, I wouldn't eat that. That's my bottom Italian food choice.
You're never like, dude, I gotta take you to this place. You're gonna love it.
I'll tell you what. I told you this after we had the brownie explosion.
Not what it's called.
I'm only going there on my birthday to get that free shit. I'll never go back again.
Oh, that's right. You are a guy who hoards rewards apps in your phone. You showed me, you were like, how many pages? Nope, not just 4. I have a fifth page.
I'm all about it. I'll get an appetizer and then, and that's it.
Do you just do the rounds on your birthday? Do you just go, where are all the places I can get for free?
Oh, yeah.
Do you really?
You know what's messed up?
What?
Denny's, because they fucked up. Denny's doesn't give you a free Grand Slam on your birthday anymore.
No.
You got to sign up for the app. And
a lot of places are doing that.
They'll send it to you eventually around your birthday. But I went there on my birthday not knowing the app, and I didn't get a free Grand Slam on my birthday.
That's sad.
Bullshit, man. But you know a place where you can get free ice cream on your birthay?
Buca,
baby.
Buca di Beppo. Joe's Hole. We'll shit out some ice cream into a comically large martini glass.
Joe's Hole to shit you out a birthday celebration.
And they'll call it a colossal brownie, and you won't know better.
Meatballs.
All right. Well, we did not find the perfect 5.00 rating, so we got to keep looking. Okay, we need to figure out a place. I'm going to go next time. And to do that, we got to play a game, Mike. Are you ready for a game?
Ooh.
Are you ready to play the headline game?
The rules of the headline game are as follows. Michael will present 3 headlines to his co-host that include this week's restaurant. They can be made up, or they can be actual headlines. If the co-host can correctly guess if at least 2 out of 3 are real or fake, they will get to select next week's restaurant. However, if Michael stumps them, he'll select again. Are you ready to play, fellas?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm ready too. First headline. Fire heavily damages Buca di Beppo restaurant in Burnsville, Minnesota.
True.
Headline number 2. Heck no, Buca di Beppo.
That's a headline. False.
You don't think a journalist would write that?
Heck no, Buca, no.
Florida man arrested outside Buca di Beppo for belligerent eating of pasta.
True.
Okay, so first headline, fire heavily damages Buca di Beppo restaurant in Burnsville, Minnesota. You said true. That was true, but I just thought it was so convenient that it was Burnsville that you might think
I was
made
thinking
it up.
If it's in Burnsville, everything has to burn in Burnsville at least once.
I hate your logic because it means I didn't stump you. Heck no, Buca di Beppo. I thought that would be a given that you would say true, but yeah, I made that up. To me, that's like some food reviewer on like Eater LA writing a review of, but no, I made it up. Florida man arrested outside Buca di Beppo for belligerent eating of pasta. You said true. I kind of screwed you over on this one because while the event is kind of true, it's at an Olive Garden.
Oh, okay.
So it is false, but I will read you that article regardless.
Okay.
Today from the Takeout's ever-growing Florida man files, a man was arrested at an Olive Garden because while he might have been there, he was certainly not family. The Miami Herald, one of the great American resources for unusual daily news, reports of, I'm going to redact the guy's name, who was picked up outside an Olive Garden in Naples, Florida, after police were called regarding a disturbance at the restaurant. According to a police report from the Naples Police Department, officers were dispatched to the restaurant around 3:30 p.m. Sunday about a disturbance. The caller reported that there was a man asking patrons for money outside the establishment and yelling expletives. When cops arrived, they encountered a shirtless man sitting outside on a bench shoveling spaghetti into his mouth with his hands. Belligerent eating of pasta.
That guy's just living his life, you know?
He's living the dream.
It's kind of fucked up they call the cops on the guy. I mean, I guess he's yelling at people as he's doing it.
Hurling expletives at them.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're...
I just love that headline, belligerent eating of pasta, which doesn't sound like that's what he was arrested for.
Fuck you. That's awesome.
But you win the headline game because you sussed out 2 out of the 3, and the third one, like, the event was true, but it was a different restaurant.
Sneaky guy over here.
Yeah, which is kind of against the rules, but how do you turn down a headline that great?
Yeah.
So
You got it true.
So you get to pick where I'm going next time. Where do you think I will find mediocrity? Where do you want to send me?
Let's see. A mediocre thing. I was, let's go to hot dog on a stick.
You want me to go to hot dog on a stick?
Hot dog on a stick.
Isn't that like a food court stand?
Yeah, I was at the mall the other day and I was like, hot dog on a stick, and that's I thought of it, and it's like that.
All right.
Let's see if you find mediocrity there.
Not a proper restaurant, but screw it. I'll do it. All right. Mike, thanks so much for coming out to Buca di Beppo with me and for coming on the podcast. Do you have anything you want to plug or anything like that?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, man. It's been a good time enjoying a nice Buca di Beppo. I don't want to go to Joe's Hole with you, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can check me out on Instagram. It's at Mike Perkins _ and you can go to my website. It's
Wait, your username ends in an underscore?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's some guy in Minnesota named Mike Perkins.
And you didn't think to put the underscore in between your names?
Nah, I don't do that. In between it?
That's, Mike _ Perkins. That makes, or Mike.Perkins?
There's no dot in Instagram. Can you put a dot in Instagram?
I don't know. But if you can put an underscore, put it. What are you doing? Mike Perkins _
Yeah. Mike Perkins _
Look, if nothing else, the amount of shit I'm giving you for it, people are going to remember it while listening to this.
Check it out, Mike Perkins
But that's
_
so stupid.
Why? Are you supposed to put it in the middle?
Yes.
Why the
You
middle?
don't put it at the end. That's stupid.
No, because then it's just Mike Perkins and then _. It's just like you already typed it out and you have to go click into another Mike _ and then go back in the letters.
Because you're assuming everyone's looking on their phone, which they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just made that up right now.
But you know what? I do get that logic.
Yeah.
I still hate it,
Yeah.
but I get it.
Well, Mike Perkins & baby. And you can check out my
Mike
website.
Perkins _ baby.
Mike Perkins _ take a breath, baby. And you can check out my website. It's themikeperkins.com. And you can check out my tour dates. And I do a late night talk show every single month. You can come check that out live. It's an amazing talk show, late night talk show. Monologues, comedy, music. And if you follow me at Mike Perkins _ you can come to the show too.
Did the toilet just flush?
I think that was my career.
No, man, you're good.
I'm
You're
kidding.
good.
Because my _
You did make yourself needlessly hard to find. And speaking of hard to find, I'm really trying to find the most mediocre restaurant, but I failed to do it yet again. So the search does in fact continue. I'll see you next time. Have a fine day.
The search continues. We still need the perfect five. The search continues. Like and subscribe. The search continues. Our journey did not conclude. The mother effing search continues. Write us an iTunes review. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and make it 5 stars, huh? Come on. Follow us on TikTok, the same on Instagram, all the socials at Fine Dining Podcast. We have a website, finediningpodcast.com. Buy our t-shirts, then put them on. And don't forget, you can always suggest where we go next. Okay, we're going to find it. Mediocrity. The search continues. See you next week. Hurt my throat a little.
Have a fine day.
Oh, hi there, it's Job. Unfucking believable. All of them, every fucking girl in my life. What does she do? She calls me from the house. Now, if anybody was listening, they'd know everything. After everything I told her, after all her yeah bullshit, they'd know a package was leaving my house, and they'd even have a time and flight number, thanks to her. Now there's been like a helicopter tailing me all day. Anyways, Petunia, if you're listening, call me. Not with your phone. We're tapped. just come find me, and I need you to drive me to Michael's studio. I want to be on the Fine Dining Podcast once again. So don't call me on the phone, even though I have one. Just rat on the mob, and I'll join you in witness protection, and we can plan from there. I gotta go. Okay, bye.